I feel like a nasty, yucky monster. But I don't like it. I don't like being this person. I don't like being this size. Sometimes I feel so hopeless. And I think that maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it would have been better if I had never been born.
Welcome to Obesity Files. Amber Rachdi's story is one of the rare My 600 Alab life cases where the beginning feels almost impossible to watch, but the ending actually gives you the kind of transformation the show was built for. At only 23 years old and 657 pounds, Amber was not just overweight, they were trapped inside a life that had become smaller, darker, and more humiliating every single year.
Everything hurts. My back hurts. My shins hurt. I am so limited in what I can do and where I can go. I have to do a bath downstairs most of the time.
They could barely stand for long. They needed help with basic movement. They depended on their parents and boyfriend just to survive the day. And emotionally, they were already living like someone who had lost the fight before the real battle even started. But what makes Amber different from so many patients is that when Dr. Now told them the truth, they did not spend the whole episode arguing with him, blaming everyone else, or pretending the plan was impossible. Amber was terrified, insecure, anxious, and overwhelmed, but they were also honest enough to know one thing: if they did not change, they were going to die.
It shouldn't be this hard to be a person. I shouldn't feel like I'm going to die all the time. If I don't change, I will die.
When we first meet Amber, the way they describe themselves is heartbreaking. They talk about feeling like a monster, feeling hopeless, feeling trapped, and feeling like their own body has turned life into a nightmare. This is not someone who is pretending everything is fine. Amber knows exactly how bad things have become, and that awareness almost makes the episode heavier, because you can see the shame sitting on them before Dr. Now even enters the story. They are young, but their body has already stolen so much from them.
Everything hurts. My back hurts. My shins hurt. I'm so limited in what I can do and where I can go.
Walking hurts, standing hurts, bathing is difficult, traveling feels almost impossible, and even being seen in public becomes a source of panic. Amber is not just carrying weight, they are carrying years of embarrassment, anxiety, and fear of failing before they even try.
I'm almost to the point where going out isn't even possible for me anymore. When I do, it's only shopping for foods I want.
Food is the center of that trap, but not in a simple way. Amber does not talk about food like it is just hunger or appetite.
My relationship with food isn't healthy. I spend a lot of time of the day stressing, what am I going to eat? When do I get it?
They talk about it like it is comfort, escape, and the only thing that quiets the emotional noise for a little while.
Food, it's a comfort, and it's helping me avoid reality. I have a lot of anxiety, and I don't like it. And I am at peace while I eat.
They admit that their relationship with food is not healthy, that they overeat, that they never really feel full, and that if food is placed in front of them, they struggle to stop even when they are already sick from eating. That is the brutal part of food addiction at this level. The body is suffering, the mind knows it is dangerous, but the craving still promises relief. And for Amber, that relief had been there since childhood, when the weight started piling on so early that by age 5, their life was already moving in a dangerous direction.
I have tried so hard so many times to not eat the way I eat, but it still happens, and it just keeps happening, and I can't stop myself. I could be stuffed sick, and I would still want to eat something if it was put in front of me.
The people around Amber clearly love them, but love is not always the same thing as helping. Their parents do the shopping, their boyfriend Rowdy is there, and the household has become part of the same food system that keeps Amber alive, while also keeping them sick.
Most of my food is cooked for me by my family members. I probably eat 4 or 5 times a day. I can't face the reality of how many calories I eat, so I just don't keep track at all.
Nobody wants to hurt Amber, but everyone has learned to work around the addiction instead of breaking it. That is why Dr. Now's first visit is so important. He does not just look at Amber's weight and talk about surgery. He looks at the entire dynamic and makes it clear that surgery will not fix anything if the behavior and the enabling stay the same.
We all need to develop new dynamic if surgery is going to be an option for Amber. If she does not change the dynamic and lose some weight, I may not be able to help her.
Amber has to become proactive. The family has to stop feeding the problem, and everyone has to understand that this is not a small lifestyle adjustment.
That would be great.
If Amber's
you.
family does not stop enabling her, she will die.
The trip to Houston shows just how serious the situation is. Amber has to face the airport, the public staring, the humiliation, the broken wheelchair, the fear of fitting on a plane, and the anxiety of being watched by strangers, and every moment of that trip feels like proof of how small their life had become. They are not just traveling to see a doctor.
It's been years since I've been this far outside my own door. I don't even know if it's possible to go on a plane at the size I am right now. And I'm doing everything in my power to not just shut down. I'm nervous about being in public in front of so many people.
They are being forced to confront everything obesity has taken from them in front of everyone. The airport becomes a nightmare, the plane becomes a nightmare, and even getting through the basic process of travel becomes a reminder that Amber's body is now controlling almost every part of their life. But that is also what makes the moment powerful, because Amber still goes. They are terrified, but they keep going anyway. When Amber finally meets Dr. Now, the truth is direct. They are almost 660 pounds, they have lipolymphedema, and the only real path forward is weight loss. Dr. Now does not promise an easy fix. He tells Amber they have to lose weight first and prove they can follow the program before surgery is even on the table. That is where a lot of patients collapse, because they hear lose weight before surgery and treat it like an insult, but Amber takes it differently. They are scared, they are overwhelmed, and they know this move to Houston is uprooting everyone around them. But they also understand this is probably their last real chance. The fear is still there, but for the first time, fear does not completely control the decision.
I need you to lose 20 pounds over next month to show me that you can do this. This is something that everybody has to work toward, okay?
The early progress is what separates Amber from so many other patients. They start eating smaller portions. They cook healthy food while Rowdy still gets fast food, and they begin walking even when it hurts. That detail matters, because it shows the shift happening in real time. Amber is not magically confident. They are not suddenly fearless. They are still anxious, still uncomfortable, still tempted, and still dealing with the emotional loss of food as their safe place. But they are doing the work anyway. And when they return to Dr. Now and the scale shows progress, even if it is not some massive impossible number, it is enough to prove they are willing and able to change. That is when Dr. Now approves them for gastric bypass surgery.
Amber lost 17 pounds, and this is close enough for me to see that she's willing and able to make changes to be successful with the bypass surgery.
Surgery is not presented like a fairy tale either. Amber is terrified. They worry about complications, about dying, about failing, about disappointing their family, and about all of this sacrifice ending up for nothing. That is one of the most human parts of the episode, because Amber does not suddenly become brave in a clean, perfect way. They are brave while panicking. They are brave while doubting themselves. They are brave while feeling like they have already wasted years of their life and dragged their family through the consequences. But surgery goes well, and from that point on, Amber's journey becomes about something much bigger than weight loss. It becomes about learning how to live without running back to food every time anxiety hits.
She apparently had anxiety attack. She always used food to cope with stress and anxiety. Now the food is not so much an option. She has no coping mechanism.
That struggle hits almost immediately when Amber ends up in the emergency room with chest pain and an irregular heartbeat, only to learn that anxiety is creating real physical symptoms. That is the moment where the episode becomes deeper than calories. Food had been Amber's coping mechanism for years, and once surgery took that option away, the anxiety did not disappear. It came out louder. Dr. Now sees that and sends Amber to therapy, which becomes one of the most important parts of the whole transformation. In therapy, Amber finally says out loud that they feel like a disappointing kid, that they are angry at themselves, and that they feel robbed of their youth because of the years they spent trapped in a massive, immobile body. But the therapist pushes back with the truth. Amber is already making a different choice, and if they keep living in the past, it will only slow down the future they are trying to build.
I'm not super thrilled that I wasted all of my youth being immobile and massive and too fat to kind of enjoy it. I'm really mad right now. I'm mad at myself. Why did I let that happen?
You are making it better because you're choosing today to make a different choice. At some point, you have to let go of that anger. Your past is your past. And if you continue to live in the past, it hinders your progress.
After that, the transformation starts to feel real. Amber begins driving again, and that moment is more than just sitting behind a wheel. It is independence coming back. It is proof that the old Amber was not completely gone, just buried under weight, fear, and shame. Then they go clothes shopping and fit into smaller sizes they had not seen in years. going from a 6X world into something that finally feels like choice again. That scene matters because it is not just about looking better, it is about being able to participate in normal life again, to pick clothes, to look in a mirror, to feel nervous but excited, and to realize that progress is not just a number doc now reads on a scale. Progress is being able to do things that once felt impossible.
It's been years since I've been shopping for clothes for myself. I'm really surprised. Some of the smaller sizes that I haven't seen in years can fit, and that's really fun. But I'm a 2X instead of a size 6X. That's a huge accomplishment to me.
And then comes the after, the part that makes Amber one of the strongest transformations in the entire franchise. Because when you see Amber now, it is not just a smaller body, it is a completely different energy. The person who once felt like a monster and struggled to exist in public becomes someone stylish, confident, expressive, and genuinely alive in a way that feels almost shocking compared to the beginning. The gym clips hit so hard because they show Amber using their body instead of hiding from it. The makeup, the hairstyles, the outfits, the selfies, the confidence, all of it feels like someone reclaiming the years that obesity tried to steal. This is the kind of glow-up viewers remember, not because it is only about looking beautiful, but because the outside finally starts matching the person Amber was fighting to become. By the end, Amber is no longer just a person trapped in one room, one floor, or one house. They are able to shop, drive, go out, work on themselves, enjoy life, and face anxiety without letting it own them. They are still honest about the fact that the journey is hard, and that matters, because real transformation does not mean every emotional problem disappears. It means the old coping mechanism no longer gets to control the future. Amber's story is powerful because it shows what happens when someone is scared but still moves, ashamed but still tries, and overwhelmed but still chooses change. And when you compare the 657-pound version of Amber to the confident, gym-going, glowing version they became, it is hard not to see this as one of the most dramatic and beautiful transformations my 600 lb life has ever produced.